Hi, Michael. Obviously, you've spoken a lot prior to this fight about how it wasn't the bout you wanted. How do you make sure that doesn't turn into complacency? How do you make sure you're sort of ready for the challenge come Saturday?
Yeah, that's just an opinion. So, you know, you have to allow yourself moments to have whatever it is that comes to mind, the frustrations, whatever it is. But a fight is a fight. He's still a dangerous opponent. I respect him. I've always spoken about how highly I rate him. It was more just the status level that I was looking for. It's like more just a type of fight that just makes everybody just go crazy. But at the same time, yeah, I'm locked in, man. He's the person that has signed the contract and is brave enough to sign the contract, and I'm locked in to putting on a big show.
And as you mentioned there, like a crazy fight. Do you feel like a big KO? Do you feel like you need a big KO to get that next?
To be fair, I'm not sure. You never know. You never know here. I don't think things just seems to change like the tides at sea. So, but I'm always striving for a big KO. I'm always striving to entertain. I'm always striving to put highlight videos out to showcase how talented I am.
And then just finally, I know obviously it's sort of pedantic at this stage, but not being the co-main, does that add to your sort of willingness to go and put on a big performance, or you kind of, is that all in the past now?
Yeah, again, it's obviously part of the frustrations initially, but I used to say the same thing when I was at Bellator, and it's no matter where you put me on the card, I am the main event.
Cheers, Michael. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Over here, you're going back down to 170. The last two fights were at 185. Does that make this weight cut harder?
It made the process feel, it was a bit longer, but you start early enough. My body was a bit unfamiliar for a little while. It's kind of like, what are you trying to do to me? And it took a little bit longer to kind of get back to where I'm accustomed to. But after a while, body listens, and I'm now back down to where I need to be to do this last bit of cut.
Okay, brilliant. Patterson is coming off 4 straight first-round finishes. Do you think he will be looking to keep that up against you, or do you think he will be more cautious?
I think he would love to, obviously. It would be great for him in terms of his career. To add to that, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to have to be more cautious because of the person that's in front of him. And my style usually brings, it forces people to be more cautious because they end up standing around kind of like a deer in headlights, stuck with what's going on in front of them because it's so unfamiliar. So it'll be very difficult for him too, especially when he finishes on his back.
Okay. You talked about even facing Yuri even higher at another weight class, but are you thinking about staying at welterweight now, or what does the future look like?
To be fair, I'm capable. I seem to be capable of just going anywhere. So as long as people can get me some good fights, I kind of want to go there. It seems to be a struggle at welterweight, but my goal is welterweight title. If the guys here can continue to not want to fight me, then I might have to go up, back up again, and look at the middleweight belt.
Is there something about Sam Patterson's game that you're worried about?
Yeah, he's super dangerous. He's got, weird enough, as much as he's a striker, he's actually got very unique submissions that he's able to catch from quite unique places. So, I've got to be very, very aware of that. Very, very on point. But other than that, we've done all the work that's necessary. So now it's just focusing on being the best me on the night.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Michael, were you quite surprised with this matchmaking? Because I know you and Sam, you live, I believe it's about half an hour apart and you've trained together in the past. Were you quite surprised when the UFC came to you with Sam's name?
Yeah, definitely was surprised because, again, I felt like we were on the same page when it comes to the type of fights they would want to kind of create, especially bringing me back to the UK. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, he's still a super talented opponent, and I just need to go out there and show the world what I can do.
And having trained with Sam in the past, does that give you any added confidence knowing his sort of strengths and weaknesses? I know he's probably evolved a lot since you last trained together, but does it give you any sense of added confidence?
No, I was trying to fight the guy on the night. Yes, I'm a bit more familiar with, you know, who he is and the styles and things that he kind of likes to go to. But at the same time, he was also helping me out with other opponents. So he's not necessarily being his best self. So I can't go by that. I have to go by who turns up on the night on Saturday.
And last one from me. I'm asking every UK fighter on the card, with the White House being so hyped up and talked about, if there was a UK version of the White House, where would you want it to be held and who would you want to fight?
UK version. I'd say, I'm just going to say Old Trafford. I just want to bring it back to United, go to Manchester. I'd love to fight there, and I'm sure LeRon would as well. So, and who would I fight? Again, for me, the Leon Edwards thing, I feel like even now it could have happened still. I know you think his brother's fighting this weekend as well, maybe today actually. But like big fights that mean something to the UK. I'd love that kind of fight.
Thanks, Michael.
Nice one.
Michael, to your left here. Hi, mate. You touched on it briefly there about the placement of where you are on this card, and we had Luke Riley in before you. You know, he was full of respect for yourself, and I just want to, you know, understand a bit more from you. Why do you think the UFC made that decision to put Luke Riley ahead of yourself? And was it? I know you say, you know, you're the main event here. Was it very frustrating for yourself to be lower down than that?
It's not necessarily. It was confusing. I'm not sure what was happening, but you know, a good friend of mine actually pointed out that the Paramount system is different. It's more about the eyeballs and keeping eyeballs versus once you've paid your subscription, then it doesn't really matter. So he said potentially it could simply be that they want to keep placing people in slightly different orders in order to maintain people's staying on the channel, and that the thought of that, whether he's correct or not, the thought of that made me go, okay, that, you know, it could be a point. Obviously, we're with a new platform now, so they might do things slightly differently. But yeah, again, initially, I just found it very, very strange, disrespectful, and strange.
And you were speaking to Demetrius Johnson about sparring, Sam, in the past, and how he's helped you prepare for fights. Can you recall much from those sparring sessions? You know, did you get the better of him, and are you using that? Obviously, now that you're fighting him, is there much that you can take from those? I'm sure there's a lot you can share.
Again, like I wouldn't say I could technically use that because the focus at the time was the opponents that I was fighting. So initially it was Kevin Holland, and we needed somebody tall, a striker, so on and so forth. So my coach would restrain me and do specific things. So he hasn't necessarily seen the full MVP, so to speak, in terms of going to fighting somebody like him. And he was being helpful in the same way as well. So he's very, you know, but he's being quite specific to what my opponents would do. And, you know, my coaches would say, can you, throw more of these? And so I guess we haven't quite seen each other. We've had a feel of each other. We haven't quite seen each other at full capacity. So I don't want to go by that. I have to go by, you know, what happens on the night. I have a general idea. My coach is based on his fights, not based on our spar. It's based on the videos that we've seen of him actually competing, because that's when he's going to let himself out. And that's what I'm going to focus on.
Cheers.
Michael, you have one of the most creative and unique fighting styles we've ever seen in MMA. How would you describe the thought process and the feeling that you have when you're in that flow state? Because it's a mixture of really unorthodox striking, dancing, taunting. It's all about entertainment in there.
It is a difficult one because, as you stated, flow state. It's kind of like once you're in it, it's almost like somebody else is like autopilot. Somebody else is just taking over the wheel, and I'm just enjoying the process. I'm really enjoying the environment, how I'm feeling, slipping punches, seeing kicks, landing punches. I'm enjoying all of it, almost as a spectator. So obviously the hard work is drilling it consciously, so then it falls into your subconscious, and then that falls into that flow state when you get into that mode. So it's difficult to really kind of go back and reflect specifically how I'm feeling in the moment, but after the key word would be enjoyment.
Your life is really crazy right now as well. You're balancing what you're doing right now, reaching the top of the sport in the UFC. you're promoting with Total Combat, and you've been cast in Roadhouse too, which is pretty wild. How do you balance the promoting aspirations, the acting aspirations, and obviously the aspiration that's always been there of being UFC world champion?
It's difficult. Obviously, the bread and butter, which what has given me these opportunities, is being in the gym, fighting, training, and then going out and getting those big fights and winning those big fights. So that has to be the main focus. And I've got an amazing team behind me. My wife that helps me with everything. My sister, who I say relatively recently brought in, which has changed the game completely. So Safina has changed absolutely everything for me in terms of organization, where I don't even know where I need to be at any time of the day because somebody's dealing with that for me. Again, my business partner, Kishan, as well, who helping me even on the filming side, because again, I've got a production company as well. Actually, the first film that we've just done has just been nominated for a Beverly Hills Film Festival, in which after this fight, we're going to LA to hopefully collect an award there. So there's a lot going on, as you say, but it's just having the right team behind me makes a massive difference.
Because cinema and gaming is something that you've always been really passionate about. I remember when we first spoke, and you said Mortal Kombat was something that you kind of modelled your fighting style around. Do you have like a process when you look for inspiration when you're preparing for fights outside of the training environment, whether it is other forms of media like gaming or movies?
No, I don't. I feel like, and even I've said this about walkouts and celebrations, I try not to force it. I try not to chase anything. A lot of my life and things that I do in life, things just fall in place. Like something will land, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, or something else will happen, and that's it. Like, just going. Obviously, I have ideas of what I would like, but then just how I live, I'm always re-inspired by stuff. So. Never try to force it.
Michael, right
just
yeah.
right here. Michael. Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw your interview. You were obviously a little bit shocked with the main event in your division between Chimaev and Strickland. On the other side, we will saw you in different film and TV series this year or next year. Do you have any concern for the future that performance is not enough to get on the top in this Paramount era, for example?
Yeah, again, it's difficult to say because I just don't know how they're making their decisions, and I think that will be the same for a lot of fighters. It's hard to know what they want because you could seemingly be doing the right thing, like I'd say Imavov, and then not be gifted with the opportunity to progress, and it's very disheartening, especially in this game, because we put so much into being as talented as you guys get to see and as entertaining as you guys get to see. So it's very difficult. So I guess without that kind of clear communication from the UFC as in this is what we're looking for, these are the kind of things that will push you forward, even the rankings don't really mean anything. I guess with the rankings, at least it gave fighters somewhat of an idea. Okay, yeah, if I get to this ranking, things will happen. More things will happen. But even that seems to be sporadic. So it's just difficult for anybody to really speculate on until we actually get a clear. This is what we're looking for from our fighters.
And last one for me. Can you talk a little bit about your gym and especially one of your teammates who fights next week, Norbert Nveni Jr.?
Yes.
Do you think we will see him in the UFC one day, maybe a card with you? And yeah.
Man, that would be a dream. We fought on a Bellator card before. He's like my younger brother, Norbert Nveni. Some of you may have seen him before, but seriously, he is a hybrid of myself. His background is wrestling because his dad's a famous wrestler in Hungary. But then he's kind of adopted my style and then added his own twist to that as well. Super, and I feel like in this middleweight division, he easily gets to the top, and that's with all confidence. So, yeah, UFC needs to sign him quick.
And just quickly for Saturday night, what can we expect from you? Like your first finish in the UFC, a classical MVP moments?
You know what? I am geared up for this one. I am definitely locked in, and It's not really. I just want to put in a bit more of an aggressive performance. I feel like everyone understands that I entertain. You know, everyone's entertained when I get out there, but I really want to show them slightly different side to me. So, yeah, expect something big.
Thank you.
Michael, you got one of the most typical style in the UFC. Clearly it works, but still, why do you think it's not more adopted by the young up-and-coming fighters? I think we've only seen Raymond Daniels, obviously, and maybe KSI in boxing try that style against Tommy Fury. But why do you think it's not adopted more by young fighters?
I think it's not adopted as much in the same way people struggle with dealing with it is because people don't quite understand it properly. And you'd need to come to people that really and truly understand it, but at this level as well. And like you said, there's very few of us, so they're going to have to come to London and shoot and figure it out, which is why, like, again, the likes of KSI that's adopted it, he was in our gym. He was there every single day training. We were working, doing different drills, and because we understand it. If somebody tries it and doesn't understand it, I've seen people that try to replicate it and it doesn't go so well for them. You really need to understand it and drill with someone that can help you apply it. And I think that's the only reason why, it's just lack of understanding.
In the Bellator days, it was obvious that you were having the time of your life in the cage. With the UFC, at that stage of your career, you're doing a lot of stuff outside, restaurant, acting, and all that stuff. Are you still having that much fun that you used to have?
Yeah, to be fair, if I wasn't, trust me, I'm not doing this weight cut. I would stop immediately, just to get away from the weight cut. So yeah, I still love this sport. I still love the game. I still love the almost like the science of it, just the technical, the ability, how to the constant competition of how to figure out another opponent, and just, yeah, it's just such a fun game when you kind of get past the brutality of it. There's so much to learn, but yeah, I still love it.
You kind of anticipated my last question. You're obviously 39 now.
8. Don't rush my age, bro.
You're gonna be 39.
Don't rush my age. It's coming.
In like a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
In like a few weeks. So, as a 38-year-old man, what are you looking for to decide that it's the end of your career? Obviously, you're not looking at the number. What are you looking at?
Yeah, it's based on how I feel. And like I said, I got some young demons that we've spoken about, or just spoken about with Norbert in the gym. When I feel like I can't keep up with these guys, I would know before I even get out to, in front of the public. I'll know how my body's feeling, how I'm struggling. But seriously, and even the other day, just doing some movement around with some of the guys at the gym, and everyone's like, "Whoa, like this is crazy." And so I don't feel like I'm aging correctly. I'm going in the opposite direction, which is great. So yeah, until I feel my body slow down or lack of enjoyment, as we spoke about, then I hang up the gloves.
Thank you, Michael. Good luck.
Hi, over there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I want to ask, because when you've joined the UFC, the expectation was very high, I think. Do you think we have seen already the version of you that people expect?
I don't think so. And I spoke about it, I can't remember exactly when, but I said actually the UFC nerves is the thing, man. Like, I felt, because I've been at big shows and I felt like when I got here, it's going to be the same thing. I don't feel like anybody's really seen the best of me yet. And I'm still, doing more successful than a lot of fighters that have come in from other organizations. So, which is a good thing. It means there's more to give, and then there's also more to see from the fans. So, yeah, definitely not there yet, but hopefully I get to show something this Saturday.
And according to that, you are coming back to the welterweight. I want to ask, do you see who can beat Islam Makhachev?
In terms, he's a difficult puzzle just because of his style. Again, it's just a case of stopping those. JDM I actually felt like had a really good chance, just because I actually didn't feel like he'd get submitted because he's got great ground, and I felt like he'd be able to get up, even though he definitely would have gotten taken down. I felt like his scrambles and everything's so good, and we saw aspects of it, but Islam is just really good. It's whoever can kind of hold their feet, get back to their feet, will probably be the guy that beats him.
Yeah. Speaking of Islam, who do you actually think should get the title shot, in your opinion?
It is a difficult one. There are a lot of amazing fighters there. Again, you could argue some of the new guys that have just kind of had back-to-back wins, like the Morales, big win, Paratas had a big win, Ian Gary, but again, Ian Gary's kind of like start, stop. Again, I'd say let those guys fight off one more time, seeing as Islam's going to be out for a bit anyway. And then see whoever comes out on top, that's the guy that should be winning. So again, I think the Morales-Paratas type fight would be great, and then the winner of that should get a title shot.
And obviously, just a last one, because you fought in the middleweight division as well, I just wanted your thoughts on the Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland fight. Like, who do you think comes out the victor on that fight?
Yeah, again, I spoke about it the other day. I don't think that fight shouldn't even exist right now. I feel like, again, I don't know who's making decisions to make these fights. And I'm sure they know better than me, but just from the outside looking in, I feel like Imavov would deserved the fight, and that's the fight we should be talking about right now. But I've had the pleasure of seeing Chimaev in the gym, working very closely with him, and that guy is a monster. Yeah, he's not normal, and it's I always say it's nice to see someone that is, high, that is very high level in a slightly different area, and I'm watching him, and it was beautiful to watch. So, yeah, it's seeing it up close and personal. Obviously, seeing it in the fights, but seeing it up close and personal he's going to be a tough person to beat.